Pe Charcha in Jaipur to the global AI stage in New Delhi. French President Emmanuel Macron turned a personal diplomatic anecdote with Narendra Modi into a headline line at the AI summit, hailing India's digital public infrastructure, especially the UPI, as something no other country has built at this scale. It was symbolism meeting strategy, soft power meeting hard tech. The summit itself was a show of strength, with the world's most powerful AI executives under one roof. Sundar Pichai, Sam Altman, Dario Amodei, policymakers, investors, global academics. India positioned itself not just as a market, but as a rule maker in AI governance. Macron's public endorsement of India's digital architecture, however, did not receive a sustained domestic amplification. After the applause, a curious quiet, which wasn't the case when a visible distance between the two AI rivals, Altman and Amodei, during a unity moment triggered speculation. Common threads lit up, industry watchers dissected the body language. And then there was the confirmed absence of Bill Gates, formally announced by the Gates Foundation after days of chatter. The Epstein shadow inevitably resurfaced in the conversation. Again, headlines followed the controversy. Also, just yesterday, Galgotias dominated the headlines. Outrage loops ran non-stop. But cut to today, the applause has been quieter than the outrage. Why? Critique when it's due, but hail when it's earned. This isn't about cheerleading, nor is it about dismissing legitimate criticism. In fact, scrutiny is essential, but so is perspective. And if we amplified yesterday's outrage wall to wall, should today's international endorsement not invite equal attention? So tonight, we debate not just the summit, but the ecosystem around it. Are we prioritizing signal or chasing noise? Now, first, here are the takeaways from the addresses that have been made by the global wigwigs today at the India AI Impact Summit. So first, it is, of course, the French President Emmanuel Macron. He said that India has built something that no other country in the world has built. So that statement really speaks for itself. It's a big endorsement coming in from someone like a sitting president of France. Then there is this next statement that came in from the OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, where he said that India's approach to AI is commendable and the pace of the change is remarkable. That is also something that has been highlighted today. Then this next one from the Indian origin, Sundar Pichai, the Google CEO, where he said that India is becoming a global AI hub, and he also said that it can't allow digital divide to become an AI divide. Another thing which also is talking about digital infra that needs to be standing along with the AI infra in India. Red lines around AI are fairly important for us and for democracy. That is the stance of Dario Amodei, the Anthropic CEO, and that is the reason why he in fact changed course and parted ways with his former boss, Sam Altman, and he in fact is maintaining this stance, an important comment that has been made here. Now, the India AI Impact Summit also served as a platform for major announcements from the government and the industry leaders to strengthen India's digital and AI ecosystems. The government has invested about 10,372 crore rupees to build a comprehensive AI ecosystem under the India AI mission. Prime Minister Narendra Modi unveiled the Manav framework that stands for moral, accountable, national, sovereignty, accessible and valid, to guide human-centric AI development. Also, the New Delhi Frontier AI Impact Commitments is an initiative involving global and domestic innovators that aim to advance multilingual AI, evaluate its impact, and you all know the Sarvam AI is one of the prime examples of that. Also, Bharat Vistar is a new multilingual AI platform that was proposed for agriculture to integrate with AgriStack and provide localized advisories to farmers, a key step when it is India's farmers community. Reliance Industries chairperson Mukesh Ambani has announced a massive 10 lakh crore rupees investment in AI over the next 7 years. And Microsoft has announced a $50 billion investment for the global south, identifying India as a priority market for AI infrastructure, cloud, and also skilling. So we are asking today, as far as this AI Impact Summit goes, when it is about the global bigwigs hailing the Indian stance as far as artificial intelligence is concerned? Why are the naysayers silent?
10 years ago, the world told India that 1.4 billion people could not be brought into the digital economy. India proved them wrong.
More generally, India is just building incredible AI, the entire AI stack, from like data centers to models to applications, and I think there's no country in the world quite matches India for total AI energy.
Google is establishing a full-stack AI hub, part of our $15 billion infrastructure investment in India.
Inevitably, I think there's going to be some disruption, not related to any particular company or particular industry, but related to the technology in general because it's moving so fast.
Let me now take this across to my guest on the broadcast. Kaushal K. Mishra, spokesperson of the BJP, is with us. Also with us, Ashpreet Kadyal of the Congress Party. Harsh Daya is a political analyst. Also joining us is Avishkar Singhvi, another political analyst on the debate today. But let me begin with Ashpreet Kadyal. Considering you belong to the opposition, Ashpreet, really would want to understand why the silence from one of the prime opposition parties in the country when a sitting French president talks about India's UPI system, hails it. That's a global endorsement that India needed.
Thank you for the question. First and foremost, the Bharatiya Janata Party's incompetence was at peak. There are several reasons for that. Number one, we invited guests from all over the world and we saw complaints coming for poor management, traffic chaos, robotraw, proper management could not be ensured. There were organizational lapses there. We have invited guests from all over the world. They are to have a perception. We are to create a good image. And the Bharatiya Janata Party's government could not even ensure the basics. Number two, Bill Gates pulled off. And that too just hours before his keynote address that was scheduled. And a few days ago, it was clarified by them, by a few Bharatiya Janata Party's leaders as well, that he'd definitely be coming. These are just rumors that he'd be calling it off. And not just Bill Gates. NVIDIA's Huang also cancelled, pulled off, among many others. If I would take all the names, the list would go on and on.
Can I come in here? As per government sources, they were always very, very clear that there will not be a Bill Gates attendance. It was only the Gates Foundation who loosely sort of said that he will go ahead with his keynote. But today, they too have put the record straight that he will not be a part of the AI summit.
If I may kindly clarify,
Sure.
I can show you the article. I can show you this was categorically reported.
Well,
but these are
the reason why I
may.
interjected
If I
here
may,
is
if
why,
I
because
may.
my question was about the French president endorsing.
may.
Let's talk about the digital infrastructure that India boasts about, but no peep from the opposition. But so much has been said about what you've just mentioned.
If I may, see,
Sure.
these are very important things. These leaders, these global leaders, these tech giants, they'll be taking away an image. They'll be going back with memories of what? Of traffic chaos, of congestions, of pollution, of organizational lapses, of Chinese products being shown. I mean, on one hand, the Bharatiya Janata Party talks of Make in India, Skill India, Digital India and whatnot. And on the other hand, what did they do? They showcased Chinese products. I mean, is this what the Bharatiya Janata Party is all about? They are pro-China, pro-Chinese products. And number two, this was basically a PR, disorganized PR spectacle. The Bharatiya Janata Party has done nothing more than a blunder. And the Bharatiya Janata Party's incompetence, inexperience, their irresponsibility has resulted into this disorganized PR spectacle. And that's why these issues have been coming up and we have to address
Kaushal
them.
Mishra, is this what it is to become of this? Even an endorsement by a sitting French president is not really keeping the headlines away or even the naysayers away from the Galgotia fiasco.
Greha, this showed the mindset of the main opposition party of the country. We have seen there are more than 500 AI experts, more than 100 governments are participating, government representatives are participating, more than 20 state leaders are there, more than 60 international ministers are there, but If somebody wanted to just find out what are the shortcomings, then they are welcome, because shortcoming they will highlight, that's good, we will correct next time or in near future. But we have to see, then all the international faculty, international leaders are praising how this is the biggest global AI summit till the time documented. In my opinion, few media reports also saying the thing. I cannot say that anywhere bigger than this summit has been done on AI or not, but till the time I think it is the biggest globally, and where almost more than 20 state leaders are there, and everybody, almost everybody is praising.
Why were
Shortcoming,
Chinese
please, I have not interrupted in you, please. Huh?
Yeah, let him make his point. Ashpreet, let Mr. Mishra make his point. Yes.
Just one liner question. Why were Chinese products showcased?
Let me be
I
the
will
one to
answer-
ask the questions. Mr.
I
Mishra,
will answer
complete
that
your
question
point.
first. I will answer first. If there are almost 1,000 universities are invited who are working on AI and on the software infra. If some university doing some mischievous thing, how the government can be responsible for that? This is one.
Okay.
But this is nonsense.
Okay.
This
Okay,
is nonsense.
Mr. Harsh,
Why-
yeah, we don't
what
want
you're
it to be
doing
a
is-
duel. We don't want it to be a conversation between just Harshpreet and Mr. Mishra there.
Greha, I
But
have
let me.
not interrupted anything,
All right.
whatever Arshri wanted
It
to
was
say.
your
But let me
duty.
in
But
fact
why
take
he
a
is not-
follow up.
Why he is not listening?
Ashpreet, let him make his
To
point.
ensure that
Let
these
him
blunders
complete
don't
his point.
happen. It
Kaushal
was your
Mishra,
duty to
complete your
ensure
point. I'll go
that-
to Harsh Daya after that.
We have seen how the Modi is making the India's AI mission and investing 10,372 crore, I think. And thus the huge investment. You have already told that Mukesh Ambani is also investing 10 lakh crore in next 7 years. So we are looking for in near future how it is the same attitude what was shown by the Congress when we bring the digital currency. Today, we are the globally biggest user of digital currency all over the world. And the same thing was thought by the Congress. Let whatever the Congress say, but Modi ji is having the vision for 2047 as a developed India. So opposition can say whatever
Okay.
they want. And
Ashkar
everywhere is-
Singhvi, Kaushal Mishra has in fact given me my cue for the next question. In fact, there's already a credit battle that I see going on online about how this entire UPI was started during the UPA era. So again, that seeking credit, something that has been very, very rampant when it is about this UPA NDA divide has yet again started. Do you think that's where it should end? Or do you think that there needs to be more conversation about this endorsement by Emmanuel Macron?
See, as far as the endorsements are concerned, I mean, anything in favor of the nation, I would take it positively. But please, I have a few points on this. So, firstly, the AI has clearly taken the world by storm. And in all such a short time, we have seen, OpenAI has come out with ChatGPT, Twitter has come out with Grok, Google has come out with Gemini, Apple has come out with its own AI, I don't know the name, and so has Samsung. But and China is coming with DeepSeek, which is its very prominent AI. But in the point of the whole debate is that India has so far not been able to capitalize and develop its AI of that standard.
Okay.
Even this summit is a very good sign. I think it should in the future keep improving, and I think we should take what we can from this. But we should understand that today, if you look at the software and hardware people, it has to be a full stack development. What Sundar Pichai said in the conference, that we are not looking at the infrastructural investments. We have to invest in the infrastructure, making chips, developing the hardware. A RAM, I'll give you a small example. 5 years or 7 years ago, a RAM, which is the main thing which is required for developing any AI, which is computing power, which is in random access memory, that used to cost 10,000 rupees is costing 50,000 rupees, because companies like Macron are going away and they are being bought over by AI giants. Why cannot we develop our own infrastructure?
But don't
and
you
why
think
can't we
that's
develop-
why endorsements like that, the
That's
ones that
one.
have been announced
No,
by
no,
Mr. Mukesh
endorsements-
Ambani, come in handy? Don't you think that is where the democratization of intelligence is going to begin?
No, I would very well welcome all the endorsements, but it has to translate into effective action. And we all know that effective action is something that is seen, the proof of the pudding is always in the eating. Now, I'll give you 2 or 3 metric points. Now, okay, companies like ChatGPT, etc., if they are allowed to come into India and to own companies here, is it India that is developing its own independent power in AI, or are we simply subserving the interests of the international giants to allow them to exploit this great market that we have in India of 1.5 billion people?
Okay.
That's the question we must be asking ourselves. Second point is with regard to actually when everyone is looking for gold, they say that invest in shovels, invest in the tools that help you find the gold. Why? How are we really investing in the tools that will enhance our AI power in the future? What is our AI requires energy. AI requires semiconductors. AI requires computing power. These are things we should be looking at, and it requires a safe environment for it to work under.
Okay,
Very
Harsh
good. Today
Taya,
we've got positive.
do you think there is that emerging
We've got a
threat as far as these global tech giants are concerned to come take over, and this entire Atmanirbharta push that has been mentioned by the Prime Minister, also the Finance Minister in her budget address time and time again, that's somehow being pushed aside? Do you think that is really a threat that one must also highlight here?
Grihaji, two, 3 points I would like to make in this particular debate. First of all, my brother Avishkar, his name means innovation, and let me assure him that innovation in AI will definitely happen in India, and India would be one of the pioneers in this particular sector. So, just going a little back, if we remember that India is not the pioneer in payment technology or anything of that sort, but we have the best digital payment system in the world. We have the most number of people, the most number of citizens who are connected with UPI. Even a small stall owner in India takes payment through UPI, through digital currency. But even if you go to countries in Europe or any Western country for that matter, even Japan, the kind of digital infrastructure of payments that we have in India, that is not existing in anywhere around the world. And that is something similar that is going to happen in AI as well. We right now may not have the best technology, we may not have the best capabilities, but that is what this AI summit was for. We have raised 200 billion investment for a complete AI stack development, and not just this AI summit, but couple of days back, couple of weeks back. In fact, our honorable finance minister had declared a budget of 2,500 crores for agri stack AI development, for agriculture that will benefit the last man in this country, which is the farmer. And the kind of development and the kind of investment that is happening in the country at the moment, that is to benefit common man very soon. And coming forward, when my brother was talking about semiconductors and processing power and energy required in the AI sector, we are the pioneers in solar energy today, in as per global
So
standards.
bottom line is the stepping
And
stone has in fact been fast.
semiconductor manufacturing is also coming to
There
India.
is an innovation, and of course there is a building ground that needs to be looked at. Anything that is started afresh will take its own time. There are teething issues, and Arshpreet Kadyal, going back to the claims that you're making about how this was a complete mess, we're going back to that very in fact point of yours. Despite all of that, there are these endorsements that are coming in globally, and it's not just about one person talking about India's UPI system. There are also defense acquisitions that one is talking about, Rafales, also co-maintenance, indigenous developments, skilling, everything included. All of this needs to also be highlighted. Why do you want to push all of it aside by just claiming that there was a controversy that happened at the AI summit?
Thank you for the question. See, first and foremost, Greha, in order to resolve a problem, in order to remedy a situation, you first have to admit that a problem exists. You first have to admit it. And the Bharatiya Janata Party is in the habit of brushing fiascos, blunders under the carpet, coming up with another issue to divert attention, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They'll not address the problem. Accountability ought to be fixed. If there were blunders, if there were fiascos, if a bad perception was made, if a bad image was conveyed, all those people should be made accountable for their mistakes, because these events, they require homework, they require discipline, they require consistency. The Bharatiya
But
Janata
don't you
Party
think
के
if
तो-
a person
if
like a Mr. Sam Altman, if he says that the change that India is witnessing, the AI benchmark that India really is coming up with, that change really that he sees as remarkable, don't you think that means anything?
See, Reha, we have to go by the practical means. The news that flashed today through international channels, what they showed was that the Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw, he was seen promoting Chinese-made products at an Indian summit. That is what went out. That is what has been conveyed to the
Okay.
world.
Kaushal
My
Mishra,
request
considering
is,
the argument that the Congress party is
Reha,
choosing to
Reha,
stick
last
with,
point.
is
Reha,
this
one last
entire
request, one
Galgogia
last
controversy of the
My
robo-dog,
request is,
why
is
not
it
address that? Why will the BJP go ahead and shirk the blame, saying that it was, in fact, an error of oversight? That doesn't end the responsibility when you are hosting a summit of such a massive scale of global significance. The kind of bad press that this has globally got India is something that needs to be addressed. That accountability is, of course, yours. It's your government in the country.
Greha, who is saying that it is not our responsibility and we are taking the full responsibility what is happening, and my friend must know what are the steps being taken after that. We will correct, course correction will be there, but if something happened wrong, we should not rub that particular point. And my friend was asking
And minister ought to resign.
why this person is not stopping,
Mr.
keeping
Mishra,
mum.
make your point. Make your point.
Because you're not answering questions. Because you're running away from
I am
them.
not here to answer
There
your
are growing
question,
demands for the resignation of the Methi chief here.
Yes.
All right, so that is something that has been going on from the Congress party. My question to the Congress is something that, Arshpreet, you have not answered. Why not also applause when you criticize? But we'll come back to this. We'll keep going about in circles. But Mr. Mishra, make your point. Complete your point.
Greha, one of the political analysts said about the energy. We are premier in primary, means we are the world leader now in the solar power. We are going for the nuclear powers, microchips, semiconductor and rare earth, which was just not even in the dreams of the Congress time. They are on the ground. We are, because we can make a pillar, we can make a big building if we have got a strong foundation. The Congress has not laid that foundation, and that is why this problem is coming. So think of that solar energy, Congress have never thought about, except for corruption in solar energy. Rare earth mineral, Congress has never thought about. We are doing semiconductor. Nothing was there in country in last 70
Harsh
years.
Daya wants to
We
make
are
a
doing
quick
that.
point. Yes, Harsh.
Grehaji, Congress is acting like an annoyed fufa in this particular matter, who goes to the most expensive wedding and complains that the paneer was not good. Everything else was fine, but paneer अच्छा नहीं था, तो हमें ये wedding बिल्कुल अच्छी नहीं लगी.
So why are you fussing over paneer? Arshpreet Kadyal, why are you fussing over paneer? We've just had an interaction with the French president. He is hailing the Rafale deal that France has landed with India. All of that needs to be also spoken about. Not just the robo-dog. Why are you stuck on it?
See, it's not just one robo-dog. There are around 8 to 9 big blunders that I referred to. And it's not just paneer, it's the entire management, brother. It's not just one issue.
It is the same Congress party who says that we are the failed economy.
If I
We are dead economy.
Arshpreet, complete your point.
No.
Mr. Mishra, Arshpreet, I've asked Arshpreet to answer.
This is important because Congress.
My request to the Bharatiya Janata Party is, if I may kindly,
Yes.
Greha, if I may be,
Mr. Mishra, I'm very short on time on the first debate. Arshpreet, please compute your point.
Thank you. It is Atmanirbhar, not China pe Nirbhar. I want to request the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson understand.
You're going back to the same point.
Are you
I started with
referring to
talking
the
about
agreement
UPI,
of the
something that has been brought about in the UPA era, but clearly the priorities were not with the UPA to go ahead and get it to its fruition, and that's why NDA will go ahead and claim credit. Don't you think the Congress needs to look at all of that? They have bigger fish to fry.
I'll talk about the bigger fish. I'll talk about the bigger fish. See, the request here is that there is a solution for everything, remedy for everything, but there is no solution for the acronym infection that is ongoing. I mean, the kind of acronyms that are being made, that are being created, look at social media, look at the news, look at the headlines that are being made. What type of acronyms
Okay,
are coming up
Mr.
with?
Mishra, one final
Put
thing
some
before I
logic
wrap
into
this.
it.
Mr. Mishra, I really want to understand this. Do you think what the government might have wanted from the AI summit, the headlines really are not going in your favor, despite whatever really is happening. And I just began with the example of the French president.
Greha, this is the difference. We believe in Vigyan, not in Vigyapan. And Congress believe in Vigyapan. I don't care about what is going on in media, but what is the reality is that Modi has shown the way that Manav, that is moral and ethical system, accountable governance, national sovereignty, accessibility and inclusiveness, and valid and legitimate AI system should be there for the global accessibility, so that we can control this AI in the betterment of the humanity, not against the
betterment of the humanity, the people of the country. On that note, let me take that cue and talk about the ethics that needs to be in not just governance, but also in opposing. The opposition has an equal role to play when it is about the democracy, like the large one that India really boasts of. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me on debate number 1 here on Plain Speak. With that, we are in fact shifting our focus to Kerala, as the Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has sharply criticized the upcoming Hindi film The Kerala Story 2 Goes Beyond, branding its trailer and narrative as, quote, poisonous creations that aim to spread hatred and also go ahead and undermine the secular fabric and communal harmony of the state. Vijayan has also argued that the film appears to revive divisive themes from its predecessor and could portray consensual social interactions as communal or coercive, thereby misrepresenting the state's tradition of mutual respect among communities. Opponents of the Chief Minister's stance contend that such films fall within the creative and cinematic freedom, and that public criticism by political leaders risks veering into prejudgment or intimidation of artistic expression. Now, amid all this, a petition has been filed before the Kerala High Court seeking cancellation of the film's certification and also demanding a stay on its release. So we are asking today, at a time when Kerala is heading into a crucial election and political voices are intensely critical of media narratives, does the sharp public and political backlash against the Kerala Story 2 reflect genuine concern over communal harmony and social impact, or does it signal that cinema has become yet another battleground in electoral politics? So here's the big question: the Kerala Story and that propaganda, or is it the truth? That is what we are going and trying to assess today.
കേരള സ്റ്റോറിയുടെ രണ്ടാം ഭാഗം എന്നുള്ള നിലയിൽ ചില ഭാഗങ്ങൾ ഇവിടെ കേരളത്തിൽ പ്രദർശിപ്പിച്ചായി നമുക്ക് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി കഴിയുന്നു.
Somebody else makes a movie against his political thinking, it suddenly becomes a problem. This is hypocrisy. This is basically an attempt to distract the people of Kerala from his 10 years of failure.
Earlier in the day, I spoke to the director of the film, Kamakhya Singh, who has requested the Kerala Chief Minister to accept truth, emphasizing that it's his duty to bring the truth to the society. And that is what he pretty much sums it while in this interview with me. Let's take a look at that conversation. There is a lot of criticism that has been reserved for your film, the second installment. The Chief Minister of the state on which this film is based on, he has gone on record and he's called this entire film a propaganda. How do you react, sir?
I would like to request the Chief Minister of Kerala to accept the truth and just check the facts. This kind of cases are happening all over the country. This is a conspiracy against the country, and we need to address it as a filmmaker. Our duty is to bring out the truth of the society into our films so that society is sensitized. Do you want our daughters, our sisters to be scammed? Do you want our daughters to be killed? Do you want our daughters to be confined in rooms? Do you want our daughters to be used as a tool to change the demography of this country? No. As a nationalist, as a person who loves our country, I would not want to do this. And that is why we made this film.
Mr. Singh, I really want to understand from you. There's a direct charge that's coming in against you that this is a propaganda film. He also goes on to say that this is targeting a particular community and it will disrupt the harmony that the state of Kerala really stands for. How do you respond to these specific allegations, sir?
See, if speaking the truth is propaganda, then it's fine. But I know for a fact that everything what we have shown in the film is truth.
Are you
And this time
targeting
in
a
the
particular community, sir? That is the
no,
very
no,
pointed
no,
charge.
no. It's not about the community. It's about the people who are operating as a terrorist and to change the demography of this country. They are targeting our daughters. We cannot sit quiet and see what they are doing. As a filmmaker, we need to speak it out. We need to talk about it so that the society knows what is happening in the society.
Right. So would you call this a selective outrage, an outrage which is being timed ahead of elections in the state of Kerala? Because that too is one aspect that one must look at.
See, I don't understand politics that way. If they feel ki we are target, it's about the election. No, not at all. In our country, every year there are 3, 4, 5 elections. So we'll have to make films. So it's not about the elections. We are just here to make good films, talk about the society, sensitize our daughters, parents, everyone, so that they know what is happening in the society.
If you could just throw light on the kind of research that went about before making this film. You've already come out with the first installment, now ready with the second one. What would you say to the research, the R&D that has gone into it, sir?
See, what happened, Vipulji is the producer. So Vipulji produced the first part also. So when they were going around in the country and they were talking to people, they would say this, that it's story of Kerala. So it's not happening in the whole country. So he had decided that we should make a film what is happening in the country. And then I came in board. And parallelly, I was doing research and doing documentaries on demography. And I realized that our daughters are not safe. I met the victims. Last 3 years, I've been meeting the victims. I'm meeting the parents. And it's a huge problem. It's a serious problem. It's challenge to the integrity of this country. It's challenge to the sovereignty of this country. If our daughters are targeted this way and the demography is targeted this way, we need to talk about it.
Let me now take this across to my guests on the broadcast. Anku Das, spokesperson of Kerala BJP, is with us. Also with us is BN Haskar, political analyst. Mr. Haskar, what do you think are the problems surrounding Kerala Story 2? What are the concerns that the state really faces that is being represented through the Chief Minister, although nobody from the state has decided to join us on the debate? So what seems to be the problem with this film?
Let us find out what is the creativity in this film. The filmmakers are already claiming that this is a fiction. This is not a fiction one, and this is the true story of Kerala. Do you believe the social fabric of Kerala is entirely different? This is a centuries-old colonial technique to divide the people and rule. The BJP is trying to make propaganda theory in Kerala that the social fabric of Kerala they are trying to malign the social fabric of Kerala. That is the only reason why, if they are going to do some creative work, a person has every right to do a creative work, whether it is a creative work or a creative work which we can be considered as a fictional one. But they are claiming that this is the true story. Then this is a documentary kind of a thing. Once if a documentary kind of a thing, it should be definitely banned by this government itself, which it should be censored by the government itself. That is my stand in this kind of thing. Because if it is a creative work, we can consider that it's a fictional one. They can claim that if it is a fictional one. But at the verge of the assembly election, the political agenda of the BJP and Sangha Parivar is going to happen through these filmmakers. They are claiming that these characters are not fiction as one, but these characters are living one.
But Mr. Haskar, that is the argument that even the BJP is in fact saying about the Kerala government. Because it's election time, it is the election season. The same logic applies to the LDF government, considering that you are also pandering to a certain vote bank. If at all that logic needs to be applied to the BJP RSS combine, why not to Pinarayi Vijayan and the government in Kerala?
See, we cannot consider these things in the election at the time of an election time. What they are trying to do is that they are trying to create issues and divide the Hindus and Muslims in Kerala.
Okay.
Kerala. Do you think like that? That whether the daughters are at a danger in Kerala because we are staying here, and we live here. We know how Kerala's
Okay,
secularism is
Shankudas,
there.
the film is divisive. That is the charge that is against the film, its makers. And while you answer that question, let me also introduce Mr. Shehzad Khan, who's also joined us on the debate. Yes, Mr. Das.
Yeah, it seems quite surprising that my good friend Haskar, people like him, a particular section of the society who usually stands with the freedom of speech and expression, who are very vocal for the freedom of speech and right of expression, are now hurt and provoked by just 3-minute trailer of a movie, which seems to be discussing love jihad. Only a 3-minute trailer has been out, but they already want a complete ban on the movie. He is asking for a ban on the movie. The love jihad has always been a hot topic in Kerala, at least since 2009. It is very interesting to note that the issue of love jihad was not raised by BJP or RSS or any Hindutva outfits in Kerala. It was first raised in 2009 September by KCBC, which is the Kerala Catholic Bishops' Council, the apex body of the bishops of Kerala Catholic Church. The issue raised by KCBC was that almost 4,000 girls belonging to Catholic Church have been purposefully converted to Islamic religion by a purposeful effort by a network of people who are engaged to betray girls by acting love and converting them. So it was first raised by KCBC in 2009. Then it was raised by SNDP Yogam General Secretary Sri Vellapalli Naresan. SNDP is the Srinarayana Dharma Paripalana Sangam.
So this radicalization that you say is very, very rampant in states like Kerala. So that means the film is a documentary account. It's not really a fictionalized tale. Is that what it is, sir?
No, it is a movie. The trailer only claims that it is inspired by true events. It is not a documentary. It is a movie. All the movies.
But the argument that is coming in from the left government is because it's a documented proof, and that is what they are suggesting, that this is based on really true incidents. We are depicting true incidents, and that's why we want the film banned.
No. The filmmakers are not claiming it to be a documentary movie. They are only saying that the thread of the movie is inspired by true events, which is in fact true. You can trace many similar incidents from Kerala that has been in news which are related to the movie. We can say that. I was trying to come to that point. So in 2009 itself, various organizations from Kerala, which are not in any way related to BJP or RSS, has been raising this issue. And very importantly, in 2010, then Chief Minister of Kerala, Mr. V.S. Achuthanandan, who is the communist chief minister, was saying that there is a purposeful attempt by a particular section of the society to convert the democratic fabric of Kerala and convert it into an Islamic state. Young girls are lured into their religion by the tactics of love. That is stated by the then chief minister, Sri V.S. Achuthanandan. And in 2009, there was a case in Kerala High Court where Justice K.T. Shankaran that there are purposeful conversion efforts are happening in Kerala in the context or in the garb of
so essentially you are saying there are enough examples in this entire Kerala culture which has been depicted in this particular film. Shehzad Khan, I did happen to speak to the filmmaker Kamakhya Singh, where he said that he's done an extensive research. He's spoken to the aggrieved members of the community, family members who have come out with details, and that is what he has put in this particular film. And the part 2, Kerala story, extends and goes beyond Kerala, goes into states like Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. What do you see this outrage now, particularly from the Kerala government about?
देखिए, बहुत-बहुत शुक्रिया आपका मुझे आपके शो पे बुलाने का। केरला 1 जो आई थी, केरला स्टोरी 1 जो आई थी, उसमें उन्होंने इतना जहर वो किया है और इतनी गलत फिगर्स दिखाई थी कि उनको हाई कोर्ट से जाके जब फटकार पड़ी तो उनको जाके उसको ऑल्टर करना पड़ा। जो हकीकत थी वो बताना पड़ा ISIS के बारे में। तो ये लोग, ये अक्सर देखा गया है और हमारे हिंदुस्तान की आवाम जो है वो अब यूज्ड टू हो चुकी है कि जब कभी इलेक्शंस आते हैं, ये आते तो ये एक एजेंडा वाली फिल्म को रिलीज किया जाता है जिसका प्रमोशन जो हमारे लोग सत्ता में है वो करते हैं, जो बड़ी अफसोस की बात है। हम एक दूसरे को डिवाइड एंड रूल किए कब तक चलता रहेगा?
शहजाद जी, आप फिल्म इंडस्ट्री से बिलोंग करते हैं, एक और फिल्म का एग्जांपल लूंगी। घूसखोर पंडित के खिलाफ एक वर्डिक्ट आया कोर्ट से, अब जाके नीरज पांडे को फिल्म का टाइटल बदलना पड़ा है। कोर्ट का ये ऑब्जर्वेशन था कि व्हाई अननेसेसरीली गो अहेड एंड डू समथिंग व्हिच विल गो अहेड एंड आउटरेज अ पर्टिकुलर कम्युनिटी, दिस इज सेंसिटिव, डोंट गो देयर, व्हाई आर यू ट्राइंग टू डिसरप्ट सोसाइटी? If that logic can be applied to one film, and this is not just about a film's title in this case, it is a larger context, and there is some concern that is being raised about how the secular fabric of a state will get disturbed if such a film really comes out. Can that equivalence really be drawn?
देखिए, जैसे घूसखोर, बहुत अच्छी बात कही आपने, जैसे घूसखोर पंडित को पर स्टे लगाया गया, उसका नाम बदल गया, तो वैसे ही इसके ऊपर भी सेम चीज होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि एक कम्युनिटी को टारगेट कर रहे हैं। उसका ट्रेलर मैंने देखा, उसमें एक मौलाना टाइप की कैरेक्टर है, वो कह रहे कि 2047 तक की पूरा शरिया लॉ हो जाएगा। अरे कैसी बेवकूफ़ी की बातें कर रहे हैं, क्यों लोगों को आप भटका रहे, क्यों लोगों को भड़का रहे? आपको देश की प्रगति देखना है कि ये सब करके दो। और पिछली उनकी केरला स्टोरी जो 1 थी, इस बुरी तरह से पिटी है, सिर्फ सरकार ने उसकी टिकट्स खरीदी और लोगों में बांटी है, उसके बावजूद भी
Okay, so Shankudas, why is there a free endorsement that is coming for a film which is made by some filmmaker in the film industry by the ruling government in the country? Why is BJP endorsing such a film if you are not looking at elections in the state?
BJP is not endorsing the movie. I'm not vouching for the movie. I'm only saying that only trailer is out now. It is too early to say that the movie should be banned. And even if the movie is bad, there is the right to make bad movies in this country also. There is a right to make fantasy movies. There are a right to make imaginary movies. If the movie is bad, you expose the movie. You make another movie bringing out the real truth of Kerala. The freedom of speech and expression.
But you talk about the real truth. One of the members from the Kerala society have gone to the Kerala High Court now against the film, wanting a ban on the film's release, wanting a change in the UA certification, in fact, denial of the certification altogether.
No, the problem we are all talking about is depicting the state of Kerala in a bad light. But the question that I'm raising is, which one is a graver issue? Like remaining silent to a disturbing truth that is happening in the state for many years, or bringing it out at the cost of depicting the state in a bad light? Which is a graver issue?
Okay, but now that the matter is before the Kerala High Court, we'll have to see the fate that Kerala story 2 really is going to look at. We'd have to wait for that verdict coming in from the Kerala High Court, as notices now have been served to not just the makers of the film, but also the CBFC. I'd like to thank the gentlemen for joining me on debate number 2 on the broadcast. And now shifting our focus to a story that is making global headlines. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, younger brother of King Charles III, was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office in the most serious legal turn yet in the Epstein-linked scandal that has shadowed him for years now. The detention came on his 66th birthday, by the way, underscoring how far the former royal's public standing has fallen since his ties to convicted US child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein came under scrutiny.
Police in the United Kingdom have arrested Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew, the brother of King Charles. Police say he's been arrested.
That's a long time. And Andrew, he's not being kept in the Tower of London or anything, but you have to go back 400 years to get the precedent. Can you explain, Max, to us the difference now between the royal family and what legal prerogatives they may have, but also the government here and Keir Starmer? Do we have any sense that either the Prime Minister's office knew this was coming or the King knew this was coming, what they've been told or whatever involvement they have?
We haven't got any inside track on that because everyone's being very careful on what they're saying, but it would be wrong of the police to allow the government or the monarchy to have any say in this investigation whatsoever. I think front of mind and everything that's happened here, the police will be acting entirely independently and doing everything their own way. The Prime Minister and the King are trying to stay on message in the sense that the survivors, the victims, are the most important figures here and that they will support any police investigation. So I don't think that the monarchy would have been told anything about this. And you've got to remember, the King sits on top of every institution in the United Kingdom. He is head of the judiciary. If he were to get involved in any way in this process, then he would then be involved of abusing his position, abusing power, and could face the same charges. This is a very delicate matter, but it's making the whole of the UK establishment extremely nervous and less secure.
And Max, and to add to that, weren't police also investigating and going through what is the King's private estate in Sandringham? I mean, just to show how, as former Prince Andrew is pushed out of Windsor, he's in Sandringham.
Yes, so he was forced out of his official residence on what is a state estate, which is the Windsor estate, which is owned by the Crown Estate, operated by the government. And the idea was that they could move him from there onto the King's private estate in Norfolk to get him away from this. But clearly we've seen that hasn't worked, because now everyone's talking about how he was on the King's estate, and this links this investigation to the King. So there were lots of discussions about what to do about Andrew and to distance him. One of the ideas was to send him out of the country. They didn't do that. They sent him to Norfolk. This compromise clearly hasn't worked because it's still the King's estate.
Even though he is now a private citizen, he's still the brother of the King, and that was just last year that he was still a prince until they made the decision.
Max, thank you so much. Salma, thank you so much for the great reporting, and Joey for the insight. Really appreciate it. We're going to have much more of breaking news coverage on this after the break, of course. We're also standing by to hear from President Trump this morning at the inaugural.
This follows a report that Andrew, while Prince, allegedly shared confidential information with the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein when he served as trade envoy for the United Kingdom. Now, in a statement, Thames Valley Police said as part of the investigation, we have today arrested a man in his 60s from Norfolk on suspicion of misconduct in public office and are carrying out searches at addresses in Berkshire and in Norfolk. The man remains in police custody at this time. Mountbatten Windsor has previously denied any wrongdoing over his ties to the disgraced financier. Let's get right to CNN's Salma Abdulaziz, who is in London, tracking what is this fast-moving story today. And Salma, we've just got a new statement from Virginia Giuffre's family. What does it say?
Yes, we did just receive that statement from Virginia Giuffre, who's probably the most outspoken and well-known victim, of course, of Jeffrey Epstein. She died of suicide last year, just months before a book was published about her horrifying account of survival. She even speaks, of course, about former Prince Andrew in this book. This is a statement from her family in response to this arrest. At last today, our broken hearts have been lifted at the news that no one is above the law, not even royalty. On behalf of our sister, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, we extend our gratitude to the UK's Thames Valley Police for their investigation and arrest of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Now, it's very important to note here, Becky, that the arrest of Mr. Mountbatten Windsor is around his time. The allegations, the accusations are around his time as a trade envoy for this country between 2001 to 2011, not necessarily around the sexual misconduct allegations that, of course, have been splattered all over the papers and all over the headlines for months now. Now, that does not mean that a police investigation, which is now underway, could expand to something further. Of course, it can, but for right now, we understand that the arrest is centered around his time as a trade envoy, and that the accusation is that he abused public office in some way, that there was misconduct in public office by passing on sensitive government information, confidential information, investment opportunities, potentially, to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, this is going to absolutely just make the royal family in a moment of crisis. We've also heard from King Charles, who just in the last 20 minutes issued a statement. I want to read you a portion of that statement as well. I have learned with the deepest concern the news about Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and suspicion of misconduct in public office. What now follows is the full, fair, and proper process by which this issue is investigated in the appropriate manner and by the appropriate authorities. So we just received that statement less than 30 minutes ago, again from King Charles, speaking on the arrest of his brother. And reading between the lines there, Becky, what the king is communicating is no one is above the law. Not my brother, not a senior member of the royal household. And this has been the strategy throughout, I think, for King Charles, is to distance, to put as much space as he can between him and the former Prince Andrew. Just think that he's royal. He stripped him of his royal titles last year. He was expelled from the royal residence in Windsor just earlier this month. Now he's saying the full force of the law, that will be carried out. No one is above the law. But the question on everyone's lips in this country will be, Becky, how much did the king know? How much did he not know? Could anyone have acted sooner? All of that now a matter, of course, of police investigation, with Andrew Mountbatten Windsor now in police custody, potentially at a police station, and soon to be interviewed by police for the allegation of misconduct. Again, it is important to note that being arrested does not mean you are guilty, but this is the beginning. This is step one of a process that you can only imagine is going to grow in scale and scope, Becky.
I just want to pull out the last couple of lines from King Charles, because I think they are important. He said, and I quote him,
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Across and shifting focus to French President Emmanuel Macron, who is here in India. He's giving out details over India and France's Rafale deal. Let's cut across.
Et c'est pour ça que tous les partis politiques qui, à un moment ou à un autre, justifient en leur sein ou à leur périphérie des mouvements qui pratiquent la violence sous prétexte que la République ne ferait pas assez ceci ou cela, commettent à chaque fois une faute grave. Grave. Et donc là, en l'espèce, c'est un mouvement d'action violente et mobilisé à sa tâche pour que les conditions du respect de chacun, de la sécurité soient assurées. Mais chacun a sa part de responsabilité.
Est-ce que vous avez aucune alliance avec LFI?
Ensuite, il y a de l'autre côté à l'extrême droite également des mouvements violents. Ces mouvements doivent être combattus, continuer d'être éradiqués, et rien ne saurait les justifier. Mais n'entrons pas dans un face-à-face. Et quant aux autres commentaires politiques que je vois, je suis toujours frappé de voir que les gens qui sont nationalistes, qui ne veulent pas qu'on les embête chez eux, sont toujours les premiers à commenter ce qui se passe chez les autres. Que chacun reste chez soi et les moutons seront bien gardés.
Ça, c'est pour Georges Meloni. Monsieur le Président, le président a été arrêté à son domicile ce matin dans le cadre de l'affaire Epstein. Quel est votre commentaire?
Je ne vais pas faire plus de commentaires, évidemment. J'imagine combien ça peut choquer le peuple britannique. Après, la justice passe. Il y a une volonté qui est de laisser la justice travailler, de transparence. Et donc, je n'ai pas de commentaires à faire qui puissent expliquer. Mais en prenant tous ces responsabilités, je le dis, là, c'est un moment de responsabilité pour toutes les formations politiques. Quiconque veut défendre ses idées, aller aux urnes, convaincre, n'a pas le droit d'utiliser la violence. Quiconque veut défendre ses idées, quels que soient ses idéaux, et je peux être en accord, en désaccord, vous pouvez être en accord, en désaccord, ils sont à respecter. Rien ne justifie la violence. Et donc, quelques responsables politiques, quelques partis politiques qui est ambigu avec des mouvements violents, qui est ambigu avec des groupes qui pratiquent la violence, portent une responsabilité gravissime. Et donc, je les appelle tous à la responsabilité, à lever ces ambiguïtés, à interdire eux-mêmes tous les groupes qui, en leur sein, pratiquent cette violence, à les fermer. La justice, de toute façon, fera son travail. L'administration le fera pour les dissolutions. Et je les appelle tous à ramener les esprits à la fois à la décence et au calme. La décence,